welcome to Newswatch, your source for all news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Joseph Hennessy. Thanks for joining us. More details are emerging about the tornado that hit West Virginia Monday night. The tornado that ripped through part of Kanawha County left over 40,000 people in the region without power. The tornado uprooted trees and knocked down power lines. One homeowner describes what she saw when the twister came through.
We have a window in our basement. I saw the trees just kind of go down and our slide was lifted in the air. And at that point I was like, okay, it's definitely a tornado.
Cleanup from the tornado began yesterday. National Weather Service officials say the tornado was an EF1 tornado and that it traveled along the ground for 11 miles.
Well, it was a very nice day out there today, but it got hot pretty fast out there. Right now in Athens, looking at a hot 86 degrees. The humidity is not too bad, about 50% at the moment. Not much of a relief from the wind, though. Out west winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour, so not much of a breeze out there. It's just kind of a hot day out there tonight. Looking at the current precipcast at the moment. Pretty clear evening at the moment. No real showers to be concerned about. We have a few storms out there in Illinois at the moment. Those aren't going to be those are going to be fizzling out until when they get to Ohio. Right here around the Ohio border, they're going to start fizzling out. So if you're in the far western part of our viewing area, might have a few storms here overnight tonight. Nothing really to be concerned about. They should be fizzling out over the next couple hours. Zooming out to the national precipcast, we're under the storm of high pressure here, giving way to those sunshiny skies out there today. And that's going to continue for the next several days. We might have a few pop-up showers over the next couple of days, but nothing to be concerned about. I'm not tracking any type of widespread rain showers for the next several days. And let's take a look at current conditions around the region. 88 degrees in Ripley, 88 in Ironton as well. Warm down there in the southern counties. 84 in Cambridge, 85 in New Martinsville. All of us under those sunny skies out there. Very hot evening out there. And taking a look at, this is the satellite image from NOAA's GOES East satellite. Nice sunny skies out there, not a lot of clouds. You can see these storms out here in Illinois, but like I said, those will be fizzling off. Lots of sunshine out there, very beautiful conditions for the next several days. Joe, it's going to be very nice. Grab those sunglasses and enjoy the weather out there.
Hey, thanks, Blake. The Hocking College Foundation has named a new director. The new director is Doug Wells. Wells has over 30 years of experience with 501c3 nonprofits. Wells assumed the position after Katie Cleland left the role. Wells has held the role for about a month.
I want to create more momentum with the alumni. I think that's important to create that connection going forward, and also re-energize our community partners and utilize my experience in talking to different community partners to get them engaged with Hocking College and tell them the good things that we're doing here.
Wells' first initiative is to expand homecoming festivities. He plans to offer free camping for families and alums to make the event even larger. A police officer in Sugar Creek, a town in Tuscarawas County, has been stabbed. 37-year-old Captain Brian Dalton was responding to a call this morning when he was stabbed, according to the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office. Dalton responded to a call about property theft. While there, he and a man got into an argument. During the argument, Dalton was stabbed. Dalton then proceeded to shoot the man who stabbed him. Dalton is in the hospital in stable condition. More information is being released in regards to a deadly officer-involved shooting Sunday in Buck Creek State Park near Springfield. The Clark County Sheriff's Office released body cam footage showing officers trying to calm a man with a knife before he allegedly charged at them. Adam Reif shows us the video, which will stop before the actual shooting.
Dave, I got lethal. What? I got my gun out. You got the beanbag.
On Sunday evening, a Clark County Sheriff's deputy was patrolling Buck Creek State Park when he saw a man with blood on his hands and neck wielding a knife. That deputy called for backup, and officers and deputies from OSP and the Clark County Sheriff's Office responded. Those officers had a taser, a beanbag shotgun, and a handgun drawn.
Still got a knife in his hand. Come here. Let's talk about this. Come here, man. We're here to help you. We're here to help.
The man, Michael Spencer, was pacing the tree line and not responding to officers' calls to drop the knife.
What's your name? What do you need? What do you need us to do for you? What do you want us to do for you? Put the knife down. Put it down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. Put the knife down.
They tried to engage him, asking what he wanted and what they could do for him.
Stay down, brother. We're good. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do for you?
After several minutes of pacing, Spencer ran at the officers, and they responded by firing the taser, the beanbag shotgun, and the handgun.
Hold back, Sabo. Just stop right there. All right? Just stop right there. Stop.
The deputy who shot and killed is on administrative leave, which is the standard procedure. Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is now in charge of this investigation to determine if the shooting was justified. A proposal regarding Ohio school funding is set to be introduced to the State House. The plan claims it will more fairly split local and state funding shares and factor in the cost of educating a child and a community's ability to help pay for it. The plan drew some praise from public school advocates and teachers' unions, but also prompted criticism that it would boost some wealthier districts without doing enough to help poorer ones. Another Columbus area health center is dealing with Legionnaire's disease. A Columbus prison health center is sanitizing its water systems after an inmate was diagnosed with the disease. The Columbus Dispatch reports that 69-year-old prisoner was housed in Zone B at the minimum security facility, which is now under inspection. The wait continues to see how state and local governments handle future settlements with the drug industry. Lawyers representing county and municipal governments were prepared to present their plans for diving money between over 25,000 local governments, but they will now have to wait. After objections from drug distributors and pharmacies and words of caution from state attorney generals, they agreed to take more input and rework their plan over the next few weeks. West Virginians waiting for the state's medical cannabis program to start will have to wait even longer. After the passing of 2 bills in March and May, the state has had little time to prepare and says it will soon be ready by the June deadline. Terminally ill patients can still purchase cannabis through agreements with other states. West Virginia Agricultural Department officials are asking landowners to register for a program to help slow the spread of gypsy moths. Plant Industries Director Tim Brown says gypsy moths feed on hundreds of species of trees and shrubs, including West Virginia hardwoods. The agency says a forest health protection specialist will determine whether the level of infestation meets the guidelines. Application forms are available online starting on July 1st. Applications require a $1 per acre deposit. Former Democratic gubernatorial hopeful Adam Edelin says his campaign attacks against Andy Beshear will make him a tougher candidate in the Democrats' quest to unseat Kentucky's Republican governor, Matt Bevin. Edelin said, "Tough primaries make for tough candidates." When asked about his campaign tactics, Beshear says he's already put aside his differences with Edelin and that Democrats are one united team against Bevin for the November election. 10 of the 20 Democrats running for president take the debate stage tonight, and more drama over potential southern border funding. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, those stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
The House and the Senate are headed for a confrontation over a border funding bill. On Wednesday, the Senate voted down a House bill aimed at addressing the ongoing migrant crisis on the southern border. That came a day after the House passed its version. Senators quickly voted in favor of their bipartisan $4.6 billion funding bill. But the Senate Republicans say they are not interested in reconciling the two bills, and that essentially put the House in a position to either take or leave the Senate bill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Wednesday that taking up the Senate bill in her chamber is not an option. Lawmakers are going on a month-long recess later this week. This next story involves an image some viewers may find disturbing. The image, which shows a migrant father and his young daughter drowned, has reignited the immigration debate. Senator Chuck Schumer discussed the picture. Once again, we warn you that this is an image you may find to be disturbing.
President Trump, I want you to look at this photo. These are not drug dealers or vagrants or criminals. They are people simply fleeing a horrible situation in their home country for a better life.
The man and his daughter were believed to be fleeing El Salvador when their bodies were discovered in the Rio Grande in Mexico. While in Florida for the debate, Senator Elizabeth Warren took time to look at a facility used to house migrant families. She commented on the conditions and then explained why she felt it was incorrect to hold people in the facilities.
These children did not commit a crime. These children pose no threat to people here in the United States of America, and yet they are locked up for weeks, for months, because our government is following a policy of inflicting maximum pain on families that flee here trying to build a better life.
Congress continues to try and find a solution for these facilities. It is day one of the first Democratic debate, and tonight 10 of the 20 candidates will take the stage. Kristen Holmes has the report on what to expect.
20 Democratic presidential hopefuls taking the stage in the first primary debate. Over the next 2 nights, some candidates will try and make a name for themselves.
I'm looking forward to this debate.
What I've been trying to do is introduce myself to the American people.
While frontrunners will aim to stay on top.
I hope to be your nominee. I'm going to work as hard as I can to get your support.
With 24 Democratic candidates this cycle, the Democratic National Committee is setting a limit of 20 debate participants. In order to qualify, candidates were required to raise money from 65,000 unique donors, or to poll at 1% or more in 3 different approved polls. From there, frontrunners were divided evenly and randomly across 2 nights. Tonight, the first 10 candidates will face off. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, Senators Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and Amy Klobuchar, Washington Governor Jay Inslee, Representatives Tim Ryan and Tulsi Gabbard, as well as Julian Castro, Beto O'Rourke, and John Delaney. Warren and O'Rourke will be front and center, based on their higher polling. As for the man each of these White House hopefuls are aiming to replace,
are you really going to live tweet? You really going to live tweet these Democratic debate, sir?
I wasn't even thinking about it. Maybe I will now. Might as well make them right.
In Miami, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Senator Warren is the only candidate polling in the top 5 who will be on the debate stage tonight. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Pete Buttigieg will all be on the debate stage tomorrow night. New prescriptions are being linked with dementia. That story's still ahead.
It's going to be a very hot next couple of days. We're going to have the heat index into the 90s, and we're going to have a very humid next couple of nights. I'll have more details about that on my full forecast when Newswatch returns. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. It is a very hot evening out there today. It's going to be cooling down over the next couple hours though. Right now in Athens, looking at 86 degrees, very hot day out there today. 50% humidity, so not overly too bad out there. Kind of dry, very hot and sunny though, so make sure you grab those sunglasses you have at the door. Not much of a breeze. We have west winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Take a look at current conditions around the region. Similar conditions in the mid to upper 80s, 86 over in Marietta, 84 in Cambridge, and 88 up in Columbus. All of us under the sunny skies out there this evening. As we take a look at precipcast, fairly quiet night out there, not really much going on. We do have a couple of thunderstorms out there in Illinois. Those should be fizzling off by the time they get to Ohio. If you're in the far western part of our viewing area, you might have a few thunderstorms overnight tonight, but they should be fizzling out fairly quickly. No one should be seeing any thunderstorms this evening. Tonight in Athens, looked at 67 degrees, very humid night out there. Humidity is going to be reaching 100% out there, so it's going to be a very patchy, foggy night out there tonight. So if you're going out driving, make sure you watch out for those foggy areas. You might have a few dense foggy areas as you go out and about this evening. Southwest winds still 0 to 5 miles per hour. Overnight lows tonight around the region, 65 in Ironton, 67 here in Athens, and 66 up in Cambridge. All fairly nice temperature-wise tonight. All of us under those clear skies. Be a nice night to go out and look at the moon tonight. I would take a look at daily planning, waking up tomorrow at 8 a.m., 71 degrees, very mild morning out there tomorrow. We might have a few lingering foggy spots out there, so be careful as you're heading out to your work tomorrow morning. Warming up by 82 degrees by noon. It's going to be a very nice lunch hour tomorrow, but it's going to heat up once again for tomorrow evening at 4 p.m. looking at 86 degrees. Very hot evening. If you're going out to the park maybe tomorrow night after you get off work, taking the kids out for a walk, make sure you remember the sunscreen. You can still get a little burnt out there by tomorrow evening. Taking a look at precipcast for tomorrow, absolutely nothing on the board. Very clear skies, no moisture at all for any of our areas around here. So a very nice day out there tomorrow. Tomorrow in Athens, 87 degrees for a high temperature. Humidity is going to be ranging anywhere from 55% to about 80%. We have a few isolated storms possible just because of the high heat throughout the day, providing the atmosphere some of that energy. So an isolated storm is not out of the question. Southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow around the region, 90 degrees down there in Ripley and Ironton for our one spots, 90 degrees up in Columbus as well. Upper 80s for the rest of us here, 88 in Marietta and 87 up in Cambridge. All of us on those sunny skies out there. Precipcast tomorrow night. Might have a few pop-up showers lingering around there. I think that the models here a little underdoing it. We might have a few scattered showers out there tomorrow night. Nothing too severe, nothing to be that worried about. Friday in Athens, 88 degrees. Isolated evening storms are going to be possible. It's going to be a great start for your weekend though. Lots of sunshine, southwest winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. taking a look at the next several days in Athens. Saturday, clear skies, might have a few evening showers, like I said, because of all the heat out there, 87 degrees. And by Sunday, we might have a few isolated storms as well throughout the evening time, mainly after 3 to 5 p.m. We're going to see some of the storms. And on Monday, start of your work week, 85 degrees, lots of sunshine, and more rain possibly returning on your Wednesday. Joe?
Thanks, Blake. Your daily dose of certain medications could be increasing your risk for developing dementia. In today's Health Minute, Meredith Wood takes a look at the correlation.
If you take an anticholinergic drug, you might be at an increased risk of dementia. A new study published in the journal JAMA Internal Medicine found a strong connection between the debilitating disease and certain medicines in that drug class, particularly medication for depression, overactive bladder, epilepsy, and antipsychotics. Researchers analyzed data on nearly 285,000 adults in the UK, 55 and older, between 2014 and 2016. Based on their exposure to anticholinergic drugs, they found that those who took them were 50% more likely to get dementia. A person only had to be on a strong daily dose for at least 3 years or take about 1,100 doses over 10 years to be at that high risk level. People taking anticholinergic drugs are advised not to stop taking them without consulting with their doctor first. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
In an editorial published alongside the study, experts say since the study shows only an association, more research is needed to clarify whether anticholinergic medications truly represent a reversible risk factor for dementia. Researchers say a common chemical found in toothpaste could be linked to osteoporosis in women. Researchers looked at data from nearly 2,000 women between 2005 and 2010 and found that women who had higher levels in the chemical triclosan in their urine were more likely to develop osteoporosis later on in life, a disease in which a person loses bone mineral density. According to the FDA, triclosan is used to prevent bacterial contamination. It's an ingredient that has been found in some hand sanitizers, toothpaste, and cosmetics, as well as kitchenware, toys, furniture, and clothing. We unveil new coverage from our sports team, and the chicken industry is under investigation, next on Newswatch. But stay tuned to WOUB, and here is a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
A box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TVs play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you. The U.S. government announced a nationwide crackdown on illegal robocalls yesterday.
The Federal Trade Commission, working with the Justice Department along with the state and local authorities, says it is targeting entities that have collectively placed more than 1 billion unwanted calls. The crackdown involves nearly 100 cases, 5 of which are criminal enforcement actions. This comes as Congress is preparing legislation to expand government power over illegal robocalls. They've become a major concern for policymakers as Americans are increasingly subjected to unwelcome cell phone interruption and, in the worst cases, fraud. According to a new report today from the global forecasting and quantitative analysis firm Oxford Economics, the use of robots is on the rise. The machines could take over 20 million manufacturing jobs around the world in the next decade. It says robots could displace about 8.5% of the global manufacturing workforce. Robots are becoming cheaper than many human workers, in part because of the falling cost of machines. Oxford Economics warns the potential downside of robots' use because it could increase income inequality. The U.S. government is investigating the chicken industry. It's an effort to intervene in a price-fixing lawsuit brought against the country's biggest chicken producers, including Tyson, Sanderson, and Perdue. The case was brought by New York food service distributor Maplevale Farms in 2016. According to its complaint, Maplevale claims 28 chicken companies conspired and combined to fix, raise, maintain, and stabilize the price of broilers. Broilers are the predominant type of chickens raised for production in the U.S. Tyson and Sanderson Farms say the claims have no merit. And for all you sports fans out there, we have big news starting this weekend. We will be covering the Southern Ohio Copperheads. We will try and provide video highlights of every home game the Copperheads play throughout the summer season. All highlights will be on our YouTube channel, WUB PBS, on our social media accounts, as well as our show at the conclusion of series. The Philadelphia Flyers mascot surprised a 7-year-old disabled boy with some customized prosthetic legs Tuesday. Caden O'Rourke was born with a rare orthopedic condition. He didn't have a full right leg, and his other leg and right hand were not fully formed. Caden told the hospital staff he wanted gritty-themed prosthetics, and they worked their magic to make it happen. From the look on Caden's face, it's safe to say he was thrilled. The surprise came a week before Caden's 8th birthday. The Flyers also gave him a jersey with his name on it. And now here's Blake for the final weather.
If you're going to be driving around this evening, make sure you watch out for the foggy areas out there. It could be a patchy foggy areas out there tonight. 67 degrees for a low temperature tonight. Humidity is going to be 100%. That's going to cause some of those low-lying areas to have some fog in them. Southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look tomorrow in Athens, 87 degrees. It's going to be very humid for most of the day. Be prepared for an isolated storm or two, not out of the question. Southwest winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the extended forecast, Friday we reached 90 degrees, very hot day out there on Friday. Saturday, clear skies, 87 degrees. Might have a few evening time storm or two. Sunday, the rain showers do possibly return for the evening time. A few isolated storms because of all that heat in the atmosphere. But it's going to be another warm week ahead of us. Temperature up in the upper 90s.
Oh, excited for that, that's for sure. And that does it for tonight's broadcast. Thanks for watching. But stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WUB.org. For Blake Hardesty, I'm Joseph Hennessy. Have a great night. And here is a look at last week's bike race, the Brick Criterium.